Good have Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Ki Teize, and Elul still, of course. Just want to tell over a vort. Thank you to my son Aaron Hill. Pointed out we should teach this week. We should learn this week the Sicha from Parshas Ki Teize, Tafshin Nav, 1991. It's an amazing vort. The Rebbe says that we know that everything in Torah is connected, and the idea that we have that every Shabbos we read from two parshas. We read the parsha of the week, which is in the morning, and the afternoon by Mincha we read the following parsha. We have to try to find the connection between when the two parshas, the message of the two parshas, that there has to be a connection. When it comes to this week, it seems like they're going in opposite places. We have Parshas Ki Teize, which means Ki Teize, when you go out to the Machama for battle, Alevecha, on your enemy. And we know the Alter Rebbe says in the Kutei Torah, and the Aruch Chaim brings down that going out is not just a physical war, but it's the war of life, the war that we go out and we struggle with our God, between our godly soul and our animal soul and our body and our space of influence. And it's a battle, and it's not easy, and we're going outwards. And then we have the Parsha Kisave, means to come in, and it's a way of menucha, a way of calmness, a way of peace, a way that we're bringing the bikurim, the first of the fruits. So it seems like it's a split. One way we're feeling this battle, this struggle, this tension, and the other discussion is talking about calmness and focus and bringing gifts to the Beis Hamikdash, to the temple. One represents a time of temple, one represents a time of galus, where there's a specific, difficult battle. So how do we put this all together? The Rebbe says an amazing word, in short. And the key word here is Ki Teize, going out. Because if we're talking about the struggle of life, seemingly the word should be, we should say, when a person engages in a battle, because that's our reality. Our reality is we live here. We're constantly being pulled from two sides. We have our godly soul that's pulling us to holiness, to kedusha, to purity. We have our animal side within us that wants to do animal things, wants to behave like an animal. We have our body that has bodily desires. We have our space of influence, which is difficult to conquer. So it seems like this is a reality. Why does it say when you go out to battle? And also, Rashi mentions that this is a battle of choice, Mechamer Rishus. And seemingly the battle of life, of Avodas Hashem, is not a choice. That's what we're here for. And the Rebbe answers that the idea is very amazing, is that we're talking about not our situation now. We're talking about when the source of the soul is a space that's not just in the highest places of creation, like the world of Atzilus, the world of Amination, the world where everything's godly. We're talking about even before creation, before there was a world, before there was a purpose in the world. It says that the thought of the godly soul, of the Nefesh Elikis, the Nefesh Yisrael, is Kadma L'chol Dovers, before anything. And it says that God consoled Nimlech b'nishmoisayim tzadikim, with the souls of the righteous, and everyone, Amcha kulam tzadikim, everyone's righteous. That when God had that conversation with the Jewish soul and said, should we create the world? Is it worth to go out there and to make a place of holiness, a place of godliness? And we said yes, even though it's difficult, like we said last week, it's not noyach, it's not easy. So a person, when you're there in the trenches and things are very difficult, and you say to yourself, how am I supposed to find menucha? How do I connect to something of peace when there's such crazy chaos in my life, in the battle, whether it's in a spiritual or physical situation? You have to know that's Ki Teize, that's not your reality. Your reality is beyond all this. When a person is able to reach all the way to the depth, to their source, to where things started, before there was anything, then you're able to, while you're engaging in battle, while you're Ki Teize, you could have the Kisava, you could have the calmness, knowing that you made a choice, and that choice was that you're going to go out to this world, and therefore you draw on tremendous energy that you have at your core to be able to be effective and to be able to be successful in this war. This also answers a difficult Gemara in Gemara Tainus that I was learning recently. It tells the story of Rabbi Elazar ben Bedas. There was a very poor man, and he once had to give out blood for his health, and he had no food even to eat to be able to regain his energy, and he just sucked on like dry fruit. And he went into a state of unconsciousness. And when he was there, his students came to visit him, and they saw that he was crying and he was laughing and he had a light. And they asked him, when he came back to consciousness, what happened? He said, when I was in an unconscious situation, God came to see me. And I asked God, why is my life so difficult? And he says, is there any way for you to change it, to make my life easier? He was so poor, so difficult. And God said to him, if I do that, I have to go all the way back to the beginning. So he asked God, where am I holding? Am I holding past the 50%? Did I pass the 50-yard line? God said, yes, you already lived half of your life. So if that's the case, I'll continue. And God blessed him with tremendous blessings in the world to come, and therefore he was a light on his face because he accepted to continue with his lot in life. And seemingly the Gemara sounds challenging, but it's really connected to this idea that at our core, where does a person draw energy? Where do you have kisave? Where do you have menucha in the difficulty of life? Is when you realize that that's not our reality. Our reality is beyond all this. But we chose at a certain level of our subconsciousness to be engaged in this, and therefore we have the strength to accomplish all what we need to accomplish to be able to make this place a resting place for Hashem until we have the ultimate revelations of godliness with the coming Mashiach B'Karav. Good Shabbos, everyone.